one of the things that we found that actually has been transformative from our community connection is the need to actually coach kids' sports teams. We would just be signed up for a basketball league, and maybe our kids just wanted to play basketball. And we'd go there, and whoever would coach, especially if your kids on the younger side, you go to a Y basketball practice, and as parents, you have to sit there the whole time anyway. And half the time, it's kind of like, this is this. I could totally do a better job than this, like knocking the people there. But half the time, it's like you're already putting the time in. You might as well just be the coach. So we started to find that by simply saying, "Sure, I'll coach," it is incredible, our society, how we position ourselves under a coach's leadership and influence and authority by default. So you think of and I would, just by simply checking a box as I'm signing my kid up for whatever sport, I just check this one box. It's the only thing, they immediately, when they show up, they all look to me to lead. They all look to us to lead, whatever it is. And we found that cultural things, you get that hour with those kids, it's an incredible opportunity. If my kids are going to participate, I'm just going to coach. And we found that. And then we found alliances where we would find, anytime we could find another family with a similar aged kid that we could partner with. That was gold on so many levels. That's one of our big principles is when you can find alliances with other family teams to go into mission together.
Yes.
There were seasons, one of my favorites, there's one other guy, another Mark that we partnered with so many times. And many of the times, he'd be the head coach in the baseball world, or I'd be the head coach and maybe in football, or we switch off at different times. But there's just a chance to really just partner together and over again. We've found that now all the way up through middle school sports, and then coaching even now, CrossFit gym now in Fairfield. But the coaching component is fascinating because by default, people come under your leadership as a coach. Yes. And I literally have kids that they'll come up to me 10 years later at a football game that I coached in flag football when they were in 5th grade, and it's a senior now. And they still remember me. But give me a fist bump, and it's an open door to talk. And sometimes I don't even remember them, but it's just, and it just is such an opportunity because I just get to partake in that journey with them.
That's so good. Yeah, I think that's simple. A lot of what you guys are going to hear is what are ways, again, we could do this together. How can we make sure that this is not a either or trade-off? Like, I'm going to spend less time with my kids, our family, more time on mission. When you've got young kids, when you're going through each of these stages, there's just ways to do this. So serving the apartment complex is really great with little kids. Then the sports start, then you've got like opportunities there. And I love what you're describing, Mark, that when you just check that box, you instantly get all kinds of equity from people. They're looking to you as a leader. And so you just have influence. And part of what we're trying to describe is that that God created family to be fruitful, multiply, fill, subdue, and rule. And that is part of the process, is you have to look for opportunities of influence so that you can do that. Michelle, you were doing cross country. Tell me about that.
Well, I run this kids cross country group that is our kids and friends, and then has expanded beyond that.
You just made it up. Basically, you and your friend kind of made this thing up.
You created your own cross country team.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not an official thing. We just meet at parks around Fairfield, and we do a running workout, and then I teach on how running can teach us about life and God. So I give them a little lesson, and it's a great way we've seen for people to plug in. And one of the runs that we do is always we start at our house and run to the park nearby. So we have 30 kids running down the street, and the neighbors are out like, "What's going on?" And we've had neighbors jump in with that. And
tell the story of specifically Rachel's story.
So then our neighbor brought her kids just a couple times, and then ended up asking us, "I loved what you shared in those teaching times. Would you be willing to teach us more about the Bible?" I was like, "Yeah, definitely." So it's been a really fun and such an easy thing. Again, we love running. We want to run with our kids. So then we invite other kids, and then they tell their friends, and it's turned into this thing.
Well, in that case specifically, even when she asked you to teach her about the Bible, you said yes, and you did. She did a story form life with the Jesus Storybook Bible, which was so cool. Wow. And she framed it, but it was the woman that was asking you had maybe a 12-year-old, and at the same time we had our 12-year-old. So she just brought our daughters right into it. So it's literally, it doesn't have to be the either or. I'm missionally going after my neighbors in this Bible study, or let's just bring our kids right into it.
And your kids, right there. That's amazing.
It's always a win when you can find something that you're doing with your kids that can be like a family activity that overlaps with your mission. Those have been the best missional places for us. It's really that concept of where you already are. What are you already interested in? Where do you already want to spend your time?
Yes.
And then viewing that missionally. So,
Yes.
for us, that in some season it's been join the neighborhood pool and remember that we're not just going to the pool. We're going to build relationships. We're going to be a light. We're trying to invite people into our lives. But it's where we already are. It's where our kids are and where we are together.
Well, those alliances are so important too. It's really exhausting and tiring and lonely if you are going on mission and you don't have those alliances. If you feel called into an area, and we've had seasons of that, but of other times, even at the pool is an example, or now at the CrossFit gym, we've got these we maybe have 4 or 5 other families that are locked in and they're all pursuing that same community, same group of people. And so you'll literally be hanging out with them and talking. Hey, it's literally swapping notes like, oh, did you hear this? I was praying with this other person, or hey, I was having the conversation, and they're really open. They want to read the word. Again, from the beginning of Red Door, we've seen this so many times when you can just throw these parties. It's like creating collisions. It's reminds me of Matthew, where when Matthew and Jesus comes to his house and he invites all his friends.
Yes.
And just creating collisions for when you've got friends who are followers of Jesus that have the light and are intentional, and they show up ready to ask questions.
Yes.
And to be intentional and to have it on their radar, and you're praying into it. It's real exciting and very fruitful.